Meeting of the Token Municipal Golf Authority to order. Ask everyone to rise as we do the Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation. Takes the flag, salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Would you bow with me, please? Our most gracious Heavenly Father, Lord, we come to you this evening just asking your blessings over this meeting. Lord, just give us the wisdom to do the very best job we can for the authority. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen. Good evening to everyone. Thank you for joining us. This time, would the clerk call roll, please?
Ms. Thomas? Mr. Burridge?
Here.
Mr. Henderson?
Here.
Mr. Armstrong?
Here.
Mr. Kathy?
Here. It's the public comment time. Is there anything that's not on the posted agenda? You may address the board at this time. Hearing none, we'll move down to the business agenda. Item number 1, discussion and/or action regarding approving and rejecting the minutes of the meeting on December 16th, 2024.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the last meeting.
Okay, thank you.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Henderson?
Aye.
Mr. Armstrong?
Aye.
Mr. Burridge?
Aye.
Mr. Kathy?
Aye. Item number 2, discussion and/or action regarding accepting or rejecting the superintendent's report. Mr. Gregory, good evening, sir.
Evening. Obviously with as cold as it's been, you know, there hasn't been just a crazy amount of stuff being done out there. But the pump houses have been insulated, fully insulated, doors and walls. Number 9 pumps on the intake and outtake are insulated fully down to the ground. Number 7 is just a different animal.
Did you use the Armaflex we were talking about?
No, I was told not to spend any money, so I couldn't go and purchase any of the heat tapes or anything like that, so I just wanted to risk it. You know, that, if, best case scenario, if there is a leak, it's gonna be right there. So I don't think we're gonna have any trouble inside of the pump houses, so that's just kind of is what it is. Like I said, the doors have also been installed on those pumps. They are sliding doors, so they're not swinging doors. Not that, you know, I just figured that would be a better temporary solution, especially if you're gonna be trying to open that thing up during the summertime, close it in the water, so. Temporary tarps have been placed and covered on greens, as you guys know, for the first round of cold spells. We covered them up the Tuesday before last, and then they stayed on there for a week. We uncovered them for 2 days and then put them back on, and then I plan on uncovering them again on Thursday. And then, like I said, firing them pumps up and throwing some water on the greens to give them some little bit of a drink. But I have begun the tree thinning process. I'm gonna start with all the dead trees, try and get those out of the way first, and all the trees that need to go that are close to tee boxes and greens. And then I'll kind of work my way out from there. Are we okay with possibly, you know, if there's just not a good place to get across or push that brush to, piling that stuff up right there where it is on top of the stump and trying to burn it all the way to the ground? Or would you rather me try and,
Without killing any of the trees beside it, would that be?
yeah, I mean, I'll make it to a point where,
Yeah.
you know, but, there's a couple places, you know, like obviously on number 1, all the trees have to come off that tree line. I'm gonna have to find a spot probably up closer to the putting green over there. I don't really know anywhere else to go with it. I don't really wanna drag it all the way across the practice area to right there by the pond at the end of number 9 fairway.
I would say wherever you can, I mean,
Okay,
that's gonna
Yeah,
be
as
kind
long
of
as
your
the
judgment.
pile's not so big that it scalds any of the other trees around it.
yeah,
Yeah. That
Make
is
sure you
the
get
trick.
with City Hall, or
Yeah.
they will, in Sheriff's Department, you know, make sure every law enforcement knows as soon as everybody sees smoke.
Yeah.
You know, and making sure we have a plan. If you have a spray rig or anything that you can use for,
I can,
if it crawls away or
yeah.
catches an ember somewhere, so it doesn't have a runaway.
Yeah.
It's this time of year, even though it's cold, it can be wet on top of the ground, but
No, it'll still go.
it'll run like we don't want a California incident, so.
What are you gonna kinda take little bites where you can keep it
Fed.
Yeah,
fed and kinda clean?
yeah. Like I said,
We're not gonna cut a bunch of trees and they're gonna be down.
No, not like a big gigantic pile,
Okay.
no. No, it'll be, like I said, start with the dead trees. All the dead trees can probably be falled right where they're at and then cut up and piled back on top of that stump and burn. Excluding number 8, T-box, that one right beside it. I'm probably just gonna push it straight back, trying to get it away. Just get it out of the way, cause I don't want a big burnt spot right there beside the T-box, cause wherever we burn will probably be brownish black until probably late June before it starts growing back, if I had to guess. And when you guys went out there and looked at those ribbons, I know Mark said he, changed up a couple things. What specifically was it, do you
I got
remember?
you. What, there was a,
I don't know, there was a cedar tree there and we took one off a pine tree, put on the cedar tree.
Okay,
I mean, it wasn't a
Yeah.
lot.
okay.
There was a couple of places that we thought the tree that you were gonna take, and then the tree next to it looked like it may not live, so we hated to, I
Gotcha.
understand the
Switch.
10 of them, but
Okay.
there's some trees there that have some issues.
Yeah,
So we might ought to leave anything healthy that,
okay,
you know.
gotcha. Obviously,
It looked pretty good. What you had there looked pretty good.
like I said, I
tried
tried to do bare minimum of just what obviously was dead, what I thought was gonna die, and then just what needed to go, just for pure looks. Cause I'd like to get those tree lines between number 2 T-box and 3 green, cleaned out to where, there's at least 6 or 7 foot in between each tree, make it look a little cleaner. And then number 7, there's a top blown out of a couple of those trees that I marked, and then there's one that's just completely dead. And then, of course, I've got to finish up cleaning in between 7 and 4 green. It just stays so wet in there that I'm probably gonna have to go in there with a chainsaw and do it that way. Cause if you get a piece of
What
equipment
about our
in there.
golf carts? I don't really see them on here, but do you have a report on how many of them we have that work?
All of them work,
All of them work
yeah.
good, that will take you 18 holes?
Not that. I would say we have 10 golf carts that I know we bought brand new batteries for.
I told you about the complaint that I had.
Yeah.
Somebody had mentioned that they took them 3 carts to play
Yeah.
18 holes.
Yeah. And
That was-
Bubba and Jason helping with the tarps, they went up number 1 to help with that tarp, and then by the time they got to number 1, it was already almost dead. They had to push it
Are they
back.
not charged, or is it?
No, they've been plugged in the whole time.
Hmm.
So I don't know if the cold is
Them
just.
carts, if they can make it around 9 holes, they need to be,
Yeah,
they don't need to be rented.
so,
I mean,
And it's come to the point where lithium is cheaper now than the lead acid batteries. So
Yeah.
if we're gonna buy batteries, we need to
Josh
buy.
told me that he got a set for $800.
Carl showed me, was that last,
I bought the lithium battery for 6, which I caught it on Black Friday.
I was thinking 6 of them,
$669, but I think you can buy them now for $699.
for 48
And
volts.
and the charger was 200, so,
Yeah,
$900.
yeah, I'm for not buying any more lead acid batteries, because it's an easy changeover, it's an easy, retrofit,
It took me about 2 hours to
yeah.
take everything out and put the new in.
Mhm. And they're supposed to have 4,000 cycles. That's what they estimate the lithium to go for, 4,000 chargings. That's a lot of time.
Considerable amount.
Yeah.
um,
If
And
we,
when I
if we,
converted
if we
mine-
wanted, if we wanted to, it's not on this, we have to get on the future agenda, but if we wanted to do that, that's something that I wouldn't necessarily have a heartburn over using the line of credit for,
Using what?
or line of credit
Oh,
for.
yeah.
Because those golf carts are income producers, they're revenue generators.
Well,
They
let's,
generate.
let's do this then. Let's get some data together on that.
Yeah.
and put it on an agenda item to discuss at the next meeting.
Correct.
How many
So we
cars will
can
go 18 holes or
So we can
36
get,
holes?
yeah,
Yeah.
figure out the lag factor we have.
Okay.
There
Before
may
I
be a-
do that, do we want to replace all the ones that need to be replaced?
No,
Or do
I
we
was
just
just
want to do like
replace-
10?
I'd say start with the worst ones and figure out how much money we want to spend and do that.
Yeah.
And then,
Okay.
we're not generating any money now, so
Well, even
Well,
if
we
you
will here in
did,
about 60
even if
days.
you did
Yeah.
3 of them that were, I mean, that's.
I'm like you, I don't mind dipping in the line of credit
If it's something
to
like
get ready for this
Yeah.
spring
Yeah.
rush.
I know there's at least 8
Because if they won't make the round,
That need to
they won't
be-
generate money if they won't make
batteries
it.
need to be replaced.
I
Okay,
mean, CJ can work on that for us for the next.
We haven't dipped into that money at all, have we? Okay.
some of that was gonna be for tarps, if I remember correctly.
That's right.
I
But,
thought we had enough in there for tarps.
Well, we don't right now.
Oh.
No, we would have to use that. We'd have to use that, but we got, it's a $50,000 revolving line of credit.
okay, so we'll, you will, you can add an
Yeah, we
item
need that
on,
done for the next
item onto
meeting.
the next meeting. And if we need to have a decision made sooner, we can call a special meeting, have it on another Monday. We don't have to wait a month, okay?
Yeah.
So, we can go from there. All right, anything else?
I did get the dozer up and running. I kinda figured that was gonna be a fight, but it really wasn't. It does need some hydraulic fluid before I wanna run it again, but I did crawl it up there to the top of the hill, and once she warmed up, she was just fine. Just, like I said, slow on the hydraulic, just need some hydraulic oil. So as soon as I get that going, then I can start opening up ground and getting us some topsoil, hopefully. So I figure it is gonna be pretty rocky on top, but once I break below that kind of rock level, then it looks to be,
And that's to try to harvest that topsoil we have out there.
what is it?
With the dozer, you're gonna try to harvest
Yes.
the topsoil we have on that hill?
Yeah, and it's, like I said, it appears to be the good, dark topsoil, a lot like the stuff that Carl brought us. So like I said, once I get past the rock on
I'll
top,
be curious how the rock separation goes.
there's a few there
There's a
already, I
lot
can
of
tell.
Yeah.
But, overall, the course is still looking really good. I'd like to probably get some spray going in the next month, within the next month. I'm gonna start with the tee boxes on the pre-emergent stuff, and then color the greens, and then do the fairways, and then just kinda work my way out, do the rough areas, and do it that way while it's dry enough, if it's dry enough to get a tractor on there without rutting it up. We do have all the chemicals we need at this time to do that stuff, so there won't be any issues there. I have talked to Chris numerous times. I do feel like he's just kinda putting us off a little bit. My next phone call is probably gonna be a little more.
The tarp guy?
Yeah, straight to it. You know, we're playing the game now of, you know, everybody's not in the office when.
Did we give him a deposit?
He's not giving you any kind of window of April, March, you know, they were originally gonna be middle of January.
Yeah, and we
He's supposed
could be
to be
there
here
already.
already.
Tarps, I mean, we could
Yeah.
be,
So I told him, we need them tarps as quick as possible, and, you know, he tells me that as soon as he gets back to the office later that afternoon, he'll call me then or call me in the morning. So, like I said, my
could we
next-
cancel? Could we cancel them?
I mean, I guess we possibly could.
What do you think about the tarps we got?
Well, we know they won't work if we have a cold spell like we
Well-
did in 2020, but that was a once in a generation.
That was a once in a generation.
They're twice
And I'm
as
gonna
big
tell
as
you
we
something,
need.
we may not realize it, but we're not as cold as Ada or Eufaula. I mean, the temperature there always seems to be
I'll defer to your judgment on that.
I thought the tarps were, you know, more than enough. And did we get the other 9? I mean, if we were gonna have a -10 or something, could we double tarp? We got enough tarps to double tarp?
We still have to go back and get the other 9, but
Okay.
Well, the ones we have could be
I just know
trimmed.
with, next year, we could order tarps again. But if he's giving you any kind of out, I would get out,
Okay.
if you can. That's my opinion.
I'm fine with that.
I agree.
Because I think we're good this year, and hopefully next fall, we got a lot more money.
And then,
Well, honestly,
Find
if
a
you
more
had to get
reliable-
that bad, you'd go get some hay and roll out on top of the tarps.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and if we do have 2 sets of tarp, and you can double tarp. And you've got good help.
yeah, I say we
Yeah.
throw the
I'm
leverage.
okay with that. You're, Carl, that's probably the right logic to do if we can, if it's possible. We haven't signed anything that I know of.
The
No,
only thing
and
that I've done is just sent that email in there.
Yeah.
Basically just stating that, here's our tarp sizes. Yes,
well,
we
I
want the
bet when
tarps.
you call and cancel them, that you get them pretty darn quick. if
I
he's
do
got-
too.
Well, if he,
They're probably already in shipping when you,
yeah,
So that, yeah.
by the time you call them.
well,
Well, we need to put pressure on him somehow.
Yeah, we do.
If he misses that sale,
I just cancel.
That might be the
'cause
kind of leverage.
I think we can make it this year.
okay.
Or tell him, forget it this year, wait, we'll take them next November.
at the same price. Since he dropped the ball on this one. Don't let him inflate the price.
when did we originally try to get those coming?
Originally in September, but nobody told me that an email was gonna be sent to me to basically state that, yes, I am a real person and yes, we want these tarps. And then in November, when I called to check in on them, that's when all the confusion started going on. I told them that, I said, well, nobody told me that I was supposed to, you're the middleman on this, and I told you that, let's get it going, and that was, the last I heard of it was that you was gonna get it taken care of. And so I had to go back in there and find that email, and
And that was in September?
that was in September.
Yeah, and in
And then he
September,
still
they were
can't give you a
supposed to be
solid
here
answer
by.
mid-July, January?
Well, they didn't put the order in until November, when I contacted them again, basically just looking for an update. And then, since November, I've contacted him about 8 times, trying to get more of a closer time on when they're gonna be here, so.
And he never responds back after you call?
He responds, not after, he says that when he gets back in the office, he's gonna check on it and then call me back,
And he never does?
and he never does.
Yeah, I would reference all those
cancel.
previous emails you sent to him and said, because we're not following through with your end of the deal, we need to cancel our tarps.
Yeah.
Good. Anything else?
I do think that when we pulled the tarps off, I liked everything that I seen underneath them. They appeared to
Did you
be,
see the worm on the practice putting green? The little worm boreholes or whatever it was, maybe not worm, but there was some, almost looked like an ant pile or just little small ones, but it was probably 40 of them.
really? No, I didn't see that.
I was gonna, we were slinging lead and trying to get done before dark, but I was gonna mention it to you.
Okay, I'll take a look at that on
Yeah.
Thursday when we pull them off. I probably need to put some type of
You
bit
probably
fender.
do. It's the only green that I noticed that on too,
Okay.
was the putting green.
Crawling under there trying to get warm.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, overall looks were good. I didn't see any issues that really concerned me with any of that stuff, so, overall conditions are good, I think, at this time, so.
All right, if there aren't any other questions for the superintendent, do I hear a motion to accept the report?
I'll make a motion to accept the report.
A second.
Have a motion and a second, roll call, please.
Mr. Armstrong?
Aye.
Mr. Henderson?
Aye.
Mr. Burridge?
Aye.
Mr. Kathy?
Aye. Item number 3, discussion and/or action on approving or rejecting the payment of purchase orders for the Toka Municipal Golf Authority for the month of December 2024.
I'll make that motion to accept the purchase orders.
I'll second it.
Have a motion and a second, roll call, please.
I guess, is that the credit card machine that we paid?
No, it's not. It might be in there somewhere, but this is right here. This is just all the regular expenses that we have.
Roll, have a motion, second, roll call.
Mr. Henderson?
Aye.
Mr. Armstrong.
Aye.
Mr. Burridge.
Aye.
Mr. Kathy.
Aye. All right, item number 4, discussion and/or action on increasing or restructuring fee schedule for all golf course related fees. Dispute?
Just trying to get a, seeing if we're still on the same page of raising them or not raising them, or,
I'm not for raising the rates at this moment. I've thought about it, and, I mean, that's just where I'm standing.
okay?
We have, we had, when did we raise them? Less than a year ago,
It would've been in 2023.
towards the end of 23?
We raised them $10 a month.
Well, money is an issue. We don't have any.
I think we will rebound nicely once the spring starts.
I think we will, once we survive the winter.
Yeah.
I think we will too,
I think,
but, I mean,
I don't
last
feel
year
as-
was a tough year, but, I mean,
Tough year.
I hate,
I don't feel as strongly about this as Carl. As Trustee Henderson, I should
Yeah.
say.
well, and I might be persuaded, but at the moment, it just,
I tried to call
It's-
Tishomingo
it
to see
doesn't-
what their rates were, and no answer. I've never been able to get anybody through this winter, so they're not working the clubhouse. But do you know what the Tishomingo rates are?
I think an individual membership there, we looked at that when we raised ours $10 a month, and, I think a single there was $60. A family was 90,
I think 75 and 90.
75 and 90, and, I think, was it, maybe 60 was for,
Elderly, or
60 and over, 65 and over.
Well, I feel like we need to stay close to Tishomingo on the rate. That's my opinion. Because people from here don't mind driving to Tishomingo if they're cheaper.
Mhm.
And we have comparable golf course with Tishomingo. So, if we do raise them, I sure think we should stay just below
Well,
Tishomingo.
you know, when we first did this deal and we kinda got started, we had a surplus. I know we had a lot of play, but we were doing pretty good at the moment.
Oh, we had,
I mean,
at one time, we had $80,000 or $90,000.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that was was that before we raised the rates? Or, It was-
No, that
It would've been after.
Would've been after.
okay.
But we've incurred a lot of expenses.
We have, and we had a lot less
Our
play
deal-
this year too.
Our deal is not so much a expense item, I don't think it's more of a revenue item, just because of being on temp greens for a year.
Well, we're rebuilding.
Yeah.
Our expenses,
And so that's-
it's all about rebuilding.
I'll remind everybody, our revenue is about $100,000, a little over actually, $100,000 less in 2024 than it was in 2023. And that's just because of a couple of reasons.
Construction projects.
Yeah. And
Rebuilding.
we haven't had a nearly favorable winter like we have the past 2
Right.
years as far as the weekend play goes.
Right, we don't wanna raise them to deter play though.
45, 60, and 75, that's still actually the cheapest golf course in southeast Oklahoma, excluding Wilburton's course.
Say that again?
45, 60, and 75.
That's what you're thinking we need to go
Yeah.
to? 45, 60?
45 for 60 and older, or whatever age that you guys want to put that at. 60 for a single and 75 for a family.
That's still pretty cheap. But
You said
We need to
40,
vote on this,
60,
don't we?
75?
45, 60, and 75.
And then,
Well,
now
again-
your cart barn,
It can be discussion and/or action at this point. If
Okay.
you want to see a fee schedule, then that can be,
Do we
And
need
then-
to get, see, the one thing with this is too, is Jeff, this is not like a flip that you switch. Because we have to contact every member and actually give them an opportunity to opt out, since we're
Yeah.
governing their accounts.
Yeah.
And number two, if they don't want to opt out, i.e. cancel, they figure out, do they want an individual or a family? So, and you're gonna need some time to get all that done. I'm thinking probably close to, I bet it's gonna be a 60, 90-day deal to get all that done.
before it goes into place, once it's approved.
Yeah.
and then is that with plus the cart barn?
I would say go ahead and throw the cart barn in there.
Until we
it's-
rebuild the cart barn, at
Yeah.
least.
The cart
Because-
barn at that rate would be as cheap as it is now, then, because some are already paying 60, aren't they, with the cart barn?
No, I think it's, if your membership is 40, I think we're only charging, if you've got an actual charger and everything set up in our barn, I think it's just an additional $750 a month.
Yeah, I think mine's about $50 or $55.
I think mine is 50 drafted, but I know someone that pays yearly. I think Aaron told me he just paid was it 600?
No, there's no way.
420, and I think he said it was 15 a month for the cart.
Well, it's
Well, that would be 20 for the cart.
Yeah.
Okay, that
No, it'd be
raise you're
15.
proposing is for
It'd be
members only,
180, yeah.
correct?
Mhm.
We're not talking about raising
420. He
the
pays
guest
600.
fees?
600.
Yeah,
Not unless you guys want to.
That's what I pay.
that's what you pay.
What kind of
what I
repercussions
think.
you think we'll have if we raise them again this soon from the members?
Oh, it's hard to say.
There's gonna be some crybabies.
You'll lose some members for sure.
Yeah, there's gonna be some
Do
crybabies.
you think we can make it through a good summer with mowed grass and nice greens and get the play up and just kind of see where we're at? I mean,
I think
is
we
this a
can,
deal that if
Well, I
we
think we
don't
can
raise them,
survive.
we won't survive?
I think we can survive and keep the course in good shape.
The membership will never keep the course open. It's the non-member play that keeps the course open.
Yeah, that's what we gotta have. And to do that, we gotta have golf carts that they can get around 18 holes on.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some,
I don't know if you can tell by looking at me, but I really don't wanna walk 18 holes. I don't know if you can tell that.
Well, my opinion is we stay below, if we do raise them, we stay below Tishomingo's rates, a few dollars.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're gonna see a lot of repercussions from
well.
the
can you-
members on that.
Can you get us something to look at where, you know, what you want the rates to be and how long it will take to implement it? Because you're saying it's gonna take 60, 90 days.
Well, I'm just thinking, because you got it by we never did a good job of getting contact information from all our members, and we probably have, it's not 200, but I bet we've got 150 members or more that we debit their accounts every month.
Well, I'm also,
And,
I'm with Carl on this. I don't think now would be a great time to raise them in the dead of winter. I think let's get people playing again, and get them really seeing what we've done, get the greens green again, and then maybe they won't cry as bad if we raise them
Well,
this fall.
if I could, I think you have to have some justification of, here's the expenses. You gotta educate them of what you've done.
yeah,
Everybody's just seeing the
Yeah.
expense that you're hitting them with. Here's the improvements that have been made. That caused this. and We're hoping to rebound to that, but if we do that, then that allows us to do projects A, B, C, or X, Y, Z, whatever that is. And here's how we justify this increase. There has to be, for me, there has to be some kind of
Yeah, I
mathematical
agree.
equation
And-
as to why you're doing it, instead of just pulling a number out of thin air and saying, hey, we're cheaper than Tish. You show them the benefit they've received for the dollar that's been spent so far,
well,
and
and before, when Mark was taking care of the financials and we did have a surplus. I mean, at every board meeting, we had everything laid out here, what we spent on, where all the money was going, coming,
okay,
how many come in, and I'm not seeing any of that. I don't-
okay. I'll work
If
on
we could get that,
I'll get that.
would help me
Okay,
too.
okay.
It's hard to make informed decisions when you don't know what's in your check.
Well,
Exactly.
exactly, right, that's
Yeah.
my point, is looking at, to know where you're going, you gotta know where you've been.
Yeah.
So, and I think there has been a tremendous amount of improvements on that course over the last 2 years, for sure. I don't think anybody'd argue that, but I do agree that, you know, your play's been diminished greatly with the temporary greens. Now that these new ones, the greens are coming in and growing well. Been amazed
Well,
how
is there-
fast they came in.
And also, is there some alternative ways to raise funds? I mean,
Well, I mean, one of those ways is you got another item down the list here that generates a tremendous amount of income that we can get to here in just a second, I think, that if done right, I think would make a huge difference, so. So
Well,
we wanna just not take any action on 4 at this point and come back with some more data?
I'm
for
pretty
the
sure
board
how
to
that
look
vote
at?
would go, so let's just go down the agenda.
Okay.
But, you're gonna be hard, I could very easily, here in a few months, make a reasoned argument on why fees need to go up, and that's the direction, I'm gonna probably wanna go at that
Okay.
time. Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. All right, so any motion on item 4? Hearing none, we'll move to item 5, discussion and/or action on raising or adjusting fees charged by AMGA for use of golf facilities. So what is the difference between golf course and golf facilities? Sheds and the like, or what are,
That one I don't know. what
do
that
we
one-
double up on agenda items?
Possibly.
Just word them differently?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Or is this for the use of like school tournament play or something?
I don't know what this.
I don't know who put this item on the agenda.
Chris's, maybe,
Chris did maybe?
maybe, I don't know.
And I feel like that might be what it is for the different schools. around the
Probably
tournament.
is, cause that's kinda her
Yeah.
department.
Yeah.
Lynn, again, I think
And
that
is
comes
coming
back
up
to, that comes back to item 4, having a little more knowledge on what that revenue stream looked like
Yeah.
from things like that, and seeing how that impacts the bottom line if you have more of those or less of those. So
I
at this-
think she, if that is hers, she is probably talking about directly to schools and how much we charge them for the yearly,
Or maybe,
basically, use.
or maybe tournaments too, to rent it
Yeah.
out, of course, yeah.
Um,
I understand that, that's fair.
Is there a chart fee for schools?
We've been doing 500 or 600, I believe.
Mhm.
Last year it was all kinda changed up because we was on temp green, so we lowered it. What is a set number that you guys want
Well,
to charge?
we just, when they wanted to do one on the weekend, my always was like, well, the golf course is to be made whole. You know, what would we generate? I mean, on a week, but a lot of them are on weekdays, and we did about $500 or $600.
Yeah, weekends could be double that,
Yeah.
very easy.
Okay.
So you wanna do weekdays, possibly 600, weekends 800?
I would,
I don't think 800's enough.
I would start charging $1,000.
For weekend?
For weekend.
For weekends.
Yeah. The problem you got is, well, with a 9-hole course, it's hard for somebody that wants to put on a tournament to make money, just because like we had 18 holes, you could lower that down probably, but we don't.
Yeah.
I think that's what it should be, 'cause that's what we're giving up.
And that's for one day, not Saturday and Sunday, correct?
It's one day.
Okay.
On weekends, I do.
And on
I
those,
do 500
on
or
those
600.
days that typically all the golf carts rent out, don't they? So they
Well,
would generate,
Well, I don't know, if it's a school thing and they're actually in season.
They gotta walk.
They gotta walk.
They gotta walk it, 'cause
Right.
most kids aren't old enough.
but if
Yeah.
their parents come, they rent a cart to go watch their kid play.
That could, you know, yeah.
Or you could do like $700 or $800, and they have to pay for the golf cart rentals.
Okay.
Because really, you're just trying to back in, okay, how can we get somewhere between $1,000 and $1,200? That's normally what we would do on one day in the summertime
Okay,
for revenue. In
Okay.
prior years.
okay.
So just as long as the course gets made whole.
Yeah, we don't wanna lose money on that.
Okay, so is there, any other discussion on that? Is there a motion on that, or are we gonna come back with a comprehensive structure?
I say we come back with a comprehensive
Okay,
structure,
all right. So this was discussion item only.
because this won't matter until June anyway.
Okay. All right. Item number 6, discussion and/or action on selecting a pro shop vendor.
I have spoke with Mizuno and Titleist. I feel like the Titleist rep, for one, the one that I called, he doesn't even work this area, so we'd be having somebody out of Dallas, Fort Worth area be our vendor. And kind of the vibe that I got from them was the customer service, I don't think is gonna be anything close to what Mizuno's gonna be able to offer us. Cause the two times I have contacted the Mizuno guy, he's drove down from Tulsa that day and met with me and pretty much answered every question that I had for him. My personal opinion is I do think we'll sell a lot more Titleist product, but we have to sell almost twice as much product of Titleist to make the same profit margin as Mizuno has. So there's probably not a lot of golfers. Actually, it's getting more and more, but the more they use the Mizuno product, I think the more they'll like it. They do have, you know, a couple golf balls in their series that are the equivalent of the Pro V1. It's just that mindset change going from Titleist to hitting the Mizuno ball. And like I said, the customer service, I think, is gonna be a lot better. They've got good products.
Excuse me.
You know, I think a Titleist driver is $600. They're equivalent, and the Mizuno drivers like $260. So it's, you know, it's a lot more affordable product that we might be able to push through there, especially for young folks that are getting into golf and they want to upgrade their golf clubs. This guy will come down, fit them, you know, put his little machine out, do the ball speed, run through the clubs, and then get them personal clubs if they so choose that day. So I was just gonna kind of gather you guys' thoughts, because they didn't really give us, Mizuno gave us prices. I sent that spreadsheet to Mark. Gave us prices on some of their product, not all of it. Titleist will not disclose any of their prices until we have an account with them. So I don't really know what their prices are. I'm sure they're gonna be the same as what you see across in other clubhouses.
And before we had tricks on?
Tricks on.
That's it.
Carl, to answer your question of different revenue streams, this is your impulse buy type items and having display casing where you can tees,
Yeah.
gloves, balls.
What is the minimum order?
Minimum order for the year is 5,000. We have to sell $5,000 worth of product in the year. So for instance, if we ordered right now, our bare minimum order, I believe, is 24 sets of gloves and 30 sets of golf balls. If we wanted to get all $5,000 worth up front, we could. We wouldn't have to make that payment until August. If we sell $5,000 worth of product or over, we get an additional, I believe it's $2,500 for either clubhouse, or they'll give the seller, which would be me or anybody in the clubhouse, you know, golf clubs. And I was thinking that if that's the case, then maybe in their club championship, we might have a whole case of golf clubs to give out to the champion every year. You know, if that's something they want, or we could use that money to get ahead in the clubhouse and just, like I said, buy more items, put more in there. The more we sell, the more we can load up in that clubhouse, you know, because they're gonna start us off simple, make sure we can sell it, and then go from there. But
What would be our profit margin on any of these products if we went with Titleist or
Titleist, we don't know,
Mizuno.
because they wouldn't give
They
out the
wouldn't share the
information.
data.
What was Mizuno? It was,
Mizuno for
it's
a,
different with different, you know, stuff you buy.
Yeah.
So,
Everything's gonna
But
have
you're
different
talking
market.
about a $5,000 investment, and then,
oh, yeah, and then how much can you expect to earn?
yeah,
I'm thinking and like I said, that kind of varies, because their cheapest ball, you make less, their more expensive ball, you make more, is the way it's set up.
I think it was around 9,000, I remember right, total,
Yeah.
$5,000,
It's almost 100%.
which was pretty close to what Strike's on was.
Yeah.
yeah. Right. And Titleist won't talk to you till
Until we have an
you
account set up.
sign a contract. I think it probably is, as far as our clubhouse, that's probably the way we should go.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I personally, I'd rather have Titleist, but that's just a personal deal. It's
Well,
not
that's-
that doesn't matter. That, we need to, I think people would still buy Mizuno balls.
I think so too.
Judging how I hit a ball, it really doesn't matter what name's on it.
Yeah.
Well, he actually had a
And
good term.
that's most of us, but it's
that
still
you would
a-
have liked. He called it ammunition. He
Yeah.
said, "This is our ammunition ball right
Yeah,
here."
that's all I need, just give me the rounds.
That was the
Well,
note I wrote down. It says, does the brand of ball really matter?
If you know how to hit it, yes. If you're
playing-
using it as
and if you're playing for
ammunition,
money,
no.
yes.
That's
Uh,
my problem then. I've been
Hey, I'm
hitting
gonna
the
tell you
wrong brand of ball.
Yeah.
The golf is, it's a mental game, and you need everything lined up in your
I've gotta
mind.
get new balls.
Stars.
It doesn't matter if it's.
Stars need to be lined
If
up.
it's a $20 ball or a $2 ball, as long as you think you can.
Hit it, hit it. Do we wanna see an agreement?
We would have to come back and approve the
Yeah.
actual order, for sure.
And sign it,
Is
and
there an
sign it.
agreement we have to sign?
Yes,
Okay, we need to get that for sure.
Yeah.
okay.
And also, CJ, if you don't mind, I think you might have already done this, 'cause I think we talked about this, get in there and get a current inventory list of all our strikes on balls and stuff.
Okay.
We'd have a big sale.
Okay. I can do that.
But bring that agreement back. This fella's probably gonna need to make sure it's right.
She can email it to us, or,
Do you keep up with the inventory, or is
Robert
somebody,
does most of
Robert's
that.
keeping up with the inventory?
Yeah.
Does he have an inventory sheet that he?
He could do one, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll need the inventory and make sure that
We definitely
that
need the
balances,
inventory
the
and make
inventory
sure that,
balances,
yeah.
that we're not missing inventory.
Exactly.
That
Do
needs
you
to be-
want all Strixon products, hats and everything too? Or just
Inventory.
ball?
Any inventory at all?
I would
that
say
is-
get all the inventory.
Yeah. Okay. Last item on the agenda here is item 7. Discussion and or action on the sale of alcohol at golf course. Whose is this one?
That was mine.
Okay.
Just gonna get you guys' thoughts, cause my personal thoughts are letting people bring 30 racks on the golf course and.
CJ,
go
I
back and
think
get
we
one.
have more liability right now not selling it than we do selling it. That's how I look at it.
Okay.
I know there are courses you cannot take your own in, and
Can't
it's,
take, if we go to selling our own alcohol, we can put limits on how much they can buy, you know, whether that be 6 a round, most golf courses do 6 beers a round.
So we control it at that point.
Yeah,
We don't control it right now.
right.
and you don't let them bring their own alcohol in, which will be a fight at the first, but,
be another marshaling issue.
yep.
If we do that, we need to have a firm board policy on people bringing their own alcohol in course.
Well, not just that, then you gotta need the liquor license.
Yep.
The person selling it's gotta be of age, gotta ID
Yeah.
everybody,
All the above.
all the above. So,
Yeah, there's a
it
tremendous,
comes with a lot.
comes with
does.
a lot of
It
liability.
does.
I don't know
But I
that
do
it
think
would-
it would be a good
Think it-
revenue generator.
You think it would generate enough to offset all the
You think
paperwork
it
and the
would
headaches and labor?
generate
commission?
enough for the fight that you're gonna have trying
Yeah.
to keep them from breaking beer?
I do.
Do
And like I
they
said,
make
if it-
aluminum metal detectors?
Huh?
Do they make aluminum metal
You're
detectors?
never gonna bat 100 on stuff like that, you know?
No.
But I think, I think Tishmingo sells alcohol, don't they?
They used to, I believe they stopped, I don't know why they stopped. I probably need to call and chat with them
That may have been an inventory issue.
Inventory came in missing?
I do know that first year that they did sell alcohol, they made almost an additional $70,000 on it.
Profit,
Yeah, which
it's a lot of profit.
And they,
makes me question as to
I'm
why
sure
they
it came with a
stopped.
lot of headaches.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I need to see why and what the reason was that they,
Well,
They
it's not a big deal if you have good employees. You just have to be sure to inventory it properly and make sure everybody's being ID'd properly.
Right.
But as far as the licensing goes, it's really not that big of a headache. You know, the facility has to be licensed and each person selling it has to be licensed, but it's not real.
Johnny, do you have to be 21 years old to ring it up?
No,
No.
you just have to have an able commission license.
Okay.
I
Question.
think our policy would be you need to be 21, but I don't think the law requires.
What other,
over 18.
what other liabilities come with that if we're selling?
Well, we
You
would
get
just
into the
wanna
whole
make
over,
sure that
you
we
get into the
have-
whole overserved thing, because 99% of the time, I mean, if you're in a concealed area, you can kind of monitor your patrons a little better, but on this particular deal, there may be they may be out there for 4 hours.
Well, there's lots of liabilities, but that's why you get a good liquor liability insurance policy, and then you don't worry about it.
I've got a contact over at Tishomingo that would probably know what happened there on theirs, so.
On their course?
Hey, what is, do you know the time frame, the general time frame from when you start applying for a liquor license to the time it gets granted to you by the state?
About 60 days.
Okay.
That's what I was gonna say, about 60.
So,
So if we did that, if we had that information, Tishomingo Y,
Mhm.
it said that in February, that we could be selling it in the spring when the course opens.
if so choose.
Yeah.
But you've got to have your liquor liability policy in place before you can even apply for your license.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And you have to publish notice in the paper before you can apply for your license. So once you get that done, then you can submit the application.
You know how many weeks that has to run for?
Two, I think.
Twice.
Twice.
I think two, yeah.
Okay. So this discussion item only till we come back with more data.
Yeah, well, see if you can find out what happened at Tishomingo's, why they quit.
Okay. Maybe an evaporative inventory. Those things evaporate in those cans.
I'll tell you that, we do need to keep even with golf balls, and there needs to be an inventory
Sheet.
every month at this meeting, really.
Mhm.
It's not that hard.
No, it's not.
I mean, everybody does it, I do it.
It needs to be balanced.
Any business does the inventory.
You should be balancing your inventory just like you're balancing the cash
Exactly.
in the drawer.
Yeah,
I think our screen, our card reader,
I think it'll do it. We've never, I don't know that we actually went to the
Well, that's what I'm
process
saying,
of-
just balance it, double check with a hand count,
yeah.
make sure you're close.
So every day.
Not close, spot on.
I have a Subway, and every day at Subway, we have to count every stick of bread in the store, every salad bowl, and every
Really?
flatbread.
Wow.
Because the bread is your money.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, that's just good business to
Yep.
have a.
Okay, are there, so we move on down, we've got a lot of stuff to come back at the next meeting with, so when you're ready, just let us know, we'll get those back on. Any trustee comments? Hearing none, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Also make that motion?
I'll second it.
Got a motion and a second, roll call please.
Mr. Henderson.
Aye.
Mr. Armstrong.
Aye.
Mr. Burridge.
Aye.
Mr. Kathy.
Aye. Everyone, thank you very, very much.